you look at Hollywood's biggest female stars of the late 90s, you'll see names like Julia Roberts, Cameron Diaz, and Sandra Bullock dominating the box office. But as the decade came to a close, another star was rapidly rising to challenge the established order, Jennifer Lopez. What most people don't realize is that behind the glamorous red carpets and polished interviews, a silent rivalry was brewing between Lopez and Bullock, one that would over their careers for years to come. By the late 90s, Sandra Bullock had become box office gold after breakout roles in Speed and While You Were Sleeping. Bullock was every casting director's dream. Relatable, bankable, and versatile, her films consistently generated huge success, and her girl next door charm made her America's sweetheart. But Hollywood is nothing if not competitive, and another actress was about to shake things up. Jennifer Lopez exploded onto the scene with her starring role in Selena in 1997. Almost overnight, Lopez transformed from a fly girl dancer and one in living color to Hollywood's latest breakout star. She was landing roles alongside some of the biggest names in the industry and bringing something different to the table. A fierce ambition that would soon put her in direct competition with established stars like Bullock. As Lopez's star power grew, she began eyeing the same roles that would typically go to Bullock. What most people don't know is that over the next few years, Lopez will go on to star in 2 films that almost went to Bullock. But before we get to that, there's something you need to know about Jennifer Lopez that helps explain everything that followed. In 1998, as her film career was taking off, Lopez gave an interview with Movie Line magazine that became infamous in Hollywood circles. In this interview, Lopez didn't hold back her opinions on fellow actresses. In the brutal honesty she displayed what reportedly sparked several feuds that would follow her for years. When asked about Salma Hayek, who at once claimed she could have been in Selena, the role that launched Lopez's career, J.Lo didn't mince words. We're in 2 different realms, Lopez said. She's a sexy bombshell, and those are the kinds of roles she does. I do all kinds of different things. It makes me laugh when she says she got offered Selena, which was an outright lie. If that's what she does to get herself publicity, then that's her thing. But Lopez wasn't done. When asked about Cameron Diaz, she described her as a lucky model who's been given a lot of opportunities I just wish she would have done more with. On her thoughts on Gwyneth Paltrow, even more dismissive. Tell me what she's been in. I swear to God, I don't remember anything she was in. Some people get hot by association. I heard more about her and Brad Pitt than I ever heard about her work. While Lopez didn't specifically mention Sandra Bullock in this infamous interview, the Hollywood rumor mill was already buzzing about their growing competition for roles, and in 2013, we finally got confirmation of what industry insiders had known for years. In an interview with Yahoo Movies, while promoting Gravity with George Clooney, Bullock revealed something surprising. She disclosed that she had met with Clooney and director Steven Soderbergh years earlier for the lead role in Out of Sight. Bullock even read for the part with Clooney, and according to Soderbergh, they had great chemistry. But ultimately, he decided it wasn't right for the film. At the time, Bullock thought this rejection meant the end of her friendship with Clooney. They didn't want me for the film, and I was all, our friendship is so over. Bullock joked. Obviously, it wasn't over. What Bullock didn't say, but what became clear, was that the role ultimately went to none other, Jennifer Lopez. But here's where it gets really interesting. Lopez later shared her own version of how things went down with Bullock in the Out of Sight role. Universal was pushing for Sandra Bullock because they said she put people in seats. Lopez revealed George and the director met with her, but they were like, if Sandra really wants it, she's gonna have to test for it. She wouldn't test, and her agent, who is also my agent, supported that. Then Lopez added a comment that raised eyebrows across Hollywood. If I was Sandy, I'd say, well, I'm gonna show them that I can do it. I work with them, make them offer me the part, then make them pay out the ass. This candid statement revealed not just Lopez's competitive nature, but also a fundamental difference in how the 2 actresses approached their careers. Out of Sight went on to become a critical darling, scoring 2 Academy Award nominations and cementing Lopez as a legitimate acting talent. The film is still considered one of her finest performances, leaving many to wonder how different it might have been with Bullock in the lead role. But that wasn't the only time these 2 actresses would cross paths professionally. In 2002, Lopez starred in the domestic violence drama Enough, playing a woman who escapes her abusive husband and trains to fight back. What most people don't know is that this role was initially set to go to Bullock. Variety reported that Bullock dropped out due to scheduling conflicts with another film, but industry insiders whispered that there might have been more to the story. The film's director, Michael Apted, later made comments that seemed to hint at potential concerns about working with Lopez. You hear all the legends about how difficult she is, and it's going to be hard to get through it, and all this kind of stuff, Apted said. And then there was a kind of gap between us agreeing to do it and starting to rehearse, and during that time I could never get a hold of her. She was always so busy, and I thought, oh my God, there's a big tough job, and if she isn't going to be around, how are we going to get through it? However, Apted quickly discovered another another side to Lopez. Once filming began, she's very focused on what's in front of her. If you're in her peripheral, forget it, you won't get the time of day, he explained. Up until when we started rehearsing, I was very much in the peripheral of her life. But once we started, she was incredibly focused. What I love about her is that she's gifted, but she's also very hardworking. This pattern of Lopez stepping into roles that might have gone to Bullock created an unspoken rivalry that neither actress has ever directly addressed. But the competition between them represents something larger about Hollywood. How women, especially, they approach their 30s and 40s are often pitted against each other for a limited number of leading roles. What makes this rivalry particularly fascinating is how different these two women are in their public personas. Bullock cultivated an image as a relatable, self-deprecating girl next door, while Lopez embraced her diva status and never apologized for her ambition. Their different approaches to fame reflect two distinct paths to success in Hollywood. Bullock would go on to win an Academy Award for The Blind Side in 2010, achieving the kind of critical recognition that has so far eluded Lopez. Meanwhile, Lopez has built an empire spanning music, film, fashion, and business that has made her one of the most powerful Latina entertainers in the world. In recent years, both actresses have continued to reinvent themselves. Bullock with critically acclaimed roles in films like Gravity and Bird Box, and Lopez with her triumphant turn in Hustlers and high-profile relationships that keep her in the public eye. Their careers have diverged in many ways, but they remain two of Hollywood's most enduring female stars. The story of Jennifer Lopez and Sandra Bullock reminds us that in Hollywood, competition isn't always obvious from the outside. Behind the smiles and polite award show interactions, there's often a complex history of rivalry for roles, recognition, and relevance. And while they may never have publicly feuded, the silent competition between two powerhouse actresses has shaped both of their legendary careers. So the next time you watch Out of Sight or Enough, remember that you could have been watching Sandra Bullock instead of Jennifer Lopez, and how different Hollywood history might have been if just a few casting decisions had gone another way. In an industry where women are constantly competing for limited opportunities, the untold story of Lopez and Bullock reveals just how cutthroat the business of fame really is.